Hi, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Smashing Skull Sessions. This evening, I'm joined by two bands who I've been a big fan of for a long time, and I heard that they were going on a European tour, and I wanted to catch them on the tour, which unfortunately, lads, I can't because other commitments such as work and all that. But I asked the two guys, or three guys now, could they come on the show, and thankfully they have. So I want to welcome Pierre from Fallen Messiah, and I have Tommy and Antoine from Chalk Hands. Guys, thanks so much for coming on.
Absolutely.
No worries.
Really appreciate it. Now, I suppose, before I try and tell people what type of music you play, for those who don't know you, how would you describe your sound, lads? Antoine?
I would say there's a lot of post-rock, there's a lot of screamo influences going on.
Yeah.
There's a hint of math rock.
Yeah.
And a healthy dose of post-hardcore with even tiniest hint of shoegaze at times.
That was what I was going to say too, yeah.
Okay.
Brilliant. And yourself, Pierre, how would you describe?
Yeah, definitely screamo because we created band for that. A lot of post metal nowadays, maybe, and big dose of post hardcore too, and so as we like to speak with Antoine, a lot of sadness. I love to play kind of sad music.
Yeah, I think that's what draws me to both your bands, because both your music is hugely emotive. Like, you know, it's heavy, dark, and emotive music. It really, really hits hard, you know, and that's what I love about it, because you don't always necessarily consider post-hardcore to be that style of music, if you follow me. And to see the emotion in your music and it gets under your skin, I love it. Like, and you know, it's just an amazing tour to see two of you together. I'd say, was it long in planning? Was it something that you thought about for a while?
Well, I mean, so Pierre and I, pointing down because Pierre is like at the bottom, just under me on the screen. It's probably not going to be like that for everyone, but that's where it is for me. So Pierre and I, we've known each other for like 14 years because I'm originally from Belgium, and I had this screamer band. It was kind of like quite similar to Chalk Hands, maybe a tad more math rocky, but very similar sort of thing. And we sort of toured together because Fallen Messiah has been a band for such a long time. And back in the days, that was like 12 years ago now, we did a little, it wasn't a proper tour, but we did a few shows together that was part of a tour. So I would say that was a long time coming for sure. Yeah.
Okay, brilliant.
Yeah, we've been wanting to do this for ages,
yeah. And it finally happened. Before we even start talking about the tour, can I just get a bit of info behind the band names even? Tommy, Chalk Hands, give us an idea where the band name came from, or
yeah, I mean, well, we always find it a little bit hard to sort of go back to that time when we were all trying to choose this name, because there were so many names being thrown around, and it just became this, like, you know, maze of what to choose, and so many different things that we had just like throwing it around. I mean, Chalk Hands, we came to that really in a more poetic sense rather than a climbing sense, which everyone seems to think we're a climbing band. So annoying. We just get that all the time. I think we were thinking more down a sort of like a bit of more of a poetic route, and sort of the idea of crumbling hands, the idea of chalk being something that wears down over time, and just the visual aspect of that.
Was it easy to come to an agreement on the band name?
Absolutely not. No, it was impossible almost. Yeah, probably been one of the hardest things we've done. It was easier to write the traps.
But it's such a big thing, like, isn't it? A band name, I mean, it's out there. No one wants to change a name a few years down the line, I'm assuming, like when you're a band and when you're establishing yourselves. So
yeah, well, that's it. Yeah,
you want to get it right, like.
Yeah, that's it.
What about yourselves, Pierre? Fallen Messiah, tell me about it.
Woo. Wow, that's old. That's so old. Like,
actually, yeah, sure, you're 14, 15 years old nearly. Are you as a band?
20. Next year, it's going to be 20 years that we had our first rehearsal with the band with the same lineup.
Okay.
Yeah, we all come from the same village. And so, like, I started the band, I think I was like 13 or 14 years old. I'm 34 now. And we used to listen to a lot of metalcore stuff, you know. Mm-hmm. And there were a band that I used to love called Darkest Hour from United States. And they got a song called The Messiah Complex. And we were like looking for a band name. And it was at the time, you know, where tons of bands used to have kind of dark meaning behind, like As I Lay Dying or stuff like that. And we're like, oh yeah, we have to sound like this. And we're like, okay, let's just try Fall of Messiah. Just because we wanted to have a kind of, I don't know, maybe we always refer ourselves like it was, okay, we have to sound like this is the end of the world.
Okay.
So we've got a lot of religious people in the area where we live, and we're like, okay, let's just call ourselves Full of Messiah. I think it's gonna be nice. But Messiah just come in the first way. We're just coming because we loved the way it was, it sound.
Yeah.
As French people, very few bands got a French name, but we've 20 years later, sometimes we always thought that we should have changed in between, but
No. I don't think so. I don't think so.
It's better than if it was as Messiah's Fall. That would have been way more metal.
And again, like for yourself, so like Pierre, you had the idea, you had that word Messiah had to be there. So was it basically playing with words? Was it to get it fine tuned it? Basically? Yeah. Two great names, actually, that's in. And I'd say a lot of people don't know the backgrounds to them, so it's interesting enough there now. I suppose, Antoine, how long are you together as a band? As the same core group?
So we had a couple of changes to lineup, but the very first practice was in 2016, but as of that, the lineup we've got now, it's only for like a year, I think.
Yeah.
We had basically we recorded the album with a drummer, then we had a change of drummer. Now we've got this guy, Gary, he used to playing We Never Learn to Live, and Earth Moves, if that means anything to anyone. Or both really good bands. Actually, they played the last gig at Arctengine, We Never Learn to Live, yesterday. I was very sad I wasn't there. But yeah, so it's only been like a year or so.
Unbelievable. Like, it's hard to see, like 20 years and 1 year. I mean, Jesus, you're young. I mean, do you mind me asking your age, lads? Tommy and
I'm 34.
Yeah, geez,
I'm 35.
There you go. Like, I mean, you've years to go. Now, right here.
I'm 34 too.
You're 34 as well.
Yeah.
So you're together since you're 14. Man, that's crazy stuff.
Yeah.
So Tommy, like the album that you wrote, Don't Think About That. And I'm probably jumping the gun here in a small bit now, but I mean, not only that, but you've done a few other bits before it. So I mean, you've crammed in a lot of music in that space of time you're together, haven't you? You've written a lot.
So yeah, I mean, that 1 year is just like the current lineup, and the band's like inception was probably about 5 years ago now.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the first EP was 2018. Is that right?
Yeah.
That's 17 actually.
17. I have 17 on my paperwork here. Anyway,
nice. You know better than me.
Get your facts right.
But sorry, where are we going with that? What was the question?
I was just wondering, you crammed so much music and written so much material, we'll say, in the space of the couple of years you're together, because you have.
Yeah. Well, we actually had
Had you stuff yourselves already?
What was that? Sorry.
Did you already have stuff that you brought with you to the table when you got together as a band?
Yeah, so we had the EP, recorded the EP in 2017, and then there was a bit of time where we sort of didn't know what direction to go, whether to do another EP, whether to do another album. But in that sort of time frame, we had started writing songs anyway.
Yeah.
And as as we started to take on other band members, I think it just came together that an album was the way to go. So yeah, I mean the EP was something that you kind of had written. You had a couple of songs written like even before, or ideas for songs written even before the band had actually get other members. So but then the album was obviously like the more collaborative thing.
I gotcha. Yeah, I probably did jump the gun now and ask you that question because I do want to concentrate on the tour first, because that's the reason I sort of brought you on and got you together, because I can't make it. So I said, try and bring the two of you on the show. But look, as I said, like, you're two really, really interesting bands. I mean, you're going from one end of the spectrum to the other, 20 years together, a younger band getting together and touring together then. And I suppose it is great, the fact that you know each other. There's 9 shows, if I'm right. Am I correct in saying you have 9 shows planned, but one day off in between?
I think so, yeah.
That's
something like that.
That's pretty hectic, lads, isn't it?
Yeah, we're always worried about vocals. That's the whole issue.
Yeah, especially. It'll be fine.
It's like day 3 of the tour, and Tommy's like, it's all
specifically me. You know, I'm there like sort of steaming my face like every time.
The towel and menthol, all that stink, the smell of menthol in the background.
I literally got a picture of Tommy on like day 4. But to be fair to you, you had like you got ill as well. That's the issue. Yeah, I've got like a picture like when we did the UK tour. I've got a picture of Tommy like under like a towel above like a bowl of hot water with salt in it.
I needed it, man. That was the only way I was getting through that tour.
What about yourselves, Pierre? I mean, do you find that tough going, doing 9 shows in 10 days? No, or are you used to it? I mean, obviously you've toured quite a bit, like, but we're so ready for it. Like, it's gonna be the same as the guy. Like, I think on the 3rd day, no one gonna have some voice left, because we have something. You never saw us live, Pat. No,
I think.
No, I haven't.
Okay. So we've got a kind of thing, because we can't sing at all. So there is just a few singing moments on every record, and when we play small venues, we kind of we love to play. We love to sing without microphones. So we just have to yell our lung out, which is so cool, but it just lasts for one show. So it's going to be fucking hard. But
so you're saying catch you early, is it?
Yeah. Come to the first one and then you can go back home. But no. But no, I think I'm kind of just waiting for it, because it's been too long that we haven't toured. 9 gigs going to be cool. No, it's going to be
brilliant.
So cool.
I was also wondering, like, was it hard to get those bookings? You know, to schedule it all and get 9 shows through 10 days. You know, to get it all to work, the logistics to it all.
Antoine did all the work.
Let's have a chat, Antoine.
I mean, I've been doing that like as far as long as I can remember. I've always been in bands and trying to book tours and like email 1,000 people that please make my band play. I swear we good. And it's always been really hard work. But for some reason, for the first time in my life, I was sending an email or 2 and I was just getting a positive response back. And I don't know. I mean, I think it's basically thanks to being on Dog Nights Productions.
Okay.
Because we had such, I don't know, lots of visibility, I guess. And like people, it was where when people were like, oh, don't know who you are. They were like, oh yeah, I heard the album is great. Please come play for us. Okay. And obviously being with Fall of Messiah as well, who are on Church Road. And I think, I don't know, I really love the combination of the 2 bands as well. I was just thinking it really works because we're like similar but different enough.
Exactly.
And I think the combination of that, just like, actually, it was pretty easy. I mean, it's still hard work, but it was nowhere near as hard as I had it in the past. Yeah.
Like, is a lot of it down to word of mouth, Antoine? You know, over the course of the years that you've been contacting places and being at venues to watch a gig, is a matter of fucking knocking on doors all the time.
Yeah. Well, that's it. Like, I did build a bit of a network over the years.
Okay.
But yeah, no, it's been all right. Yeah, this time around. Yeah.
Pierre, so you've had no involvement at all, so you just sat back and let the lads roll with it.
we were like, okay, so we're going to tour mainland. So we're from Lille, which is like when you come from England. So you just arrive in Dunkerque or Calais, which is like an hour and a half drive. So it was like, okay, let's just play in Lille because that's our hometown. And yeah, I think that was it. I tried to have contact in Paris. Yeah. But it didn't work. Antoine, yeah. Antoine just tried and managed it. So yeah, it was nice. But no, I didn't have the time I wanted to help him. And yeah, being like quiet without playing for like nearly 3 years with all the COVID and stuff was kind of hard for me to go back on train. And I was like, okay, let's go, let's move on. And so thank you, Antoine, but he knows it. Like, he helped us
very much.
So much.
And, like, is it a case of the 10 days or 9 shows in 10 days because of family commitments that you wanted to compact it? Or is it a case of it makes sense financially to bring it all together in such a short space?
I think it depends on everyone, but I think for a lot of people, it's got to do with the annual leave and how much holiday days you can get. And when you do 10 days, it's quite good because you do like a weekend. There's like a weekend in between. Okay. So there's like 2 weekends and a week in between. So you only end up like taking 5 days off.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's what I've always done because of that. And yeah, but it's different commitments, I guess. You know, we all work full time pretty much.
Yeah. I mean, I do shift work as well. So it just depends when you can actually gain annual leave. Like, sometimes there's just too many people taking holiday in like the summertime. But at a time where we could do it for 10 days, and that's what worked out for us.
Yeah. Like, it's a credit to Antoine, like the fact that you can do it, because as I said, everything you have to juggle to get this to work, and I said people don't seem to realize it. I spoke to Jean-Sebastian there from Post Leon recently, and it's the same thing. I mean, it's such hard work in planning shows, planning a tour. So I tip my cap to you, Antoine. Fair play. Fair play, man.
Well, I was the one doing the emailing and stuff like that, but like Tommy and Pierre collaborated to do the poster. Like everyone, I'm just doing the admin side of it, but there's so much more than
it's a collective. Yeah,
that exactly. Like, yeah.
Brilliant.
I'm not Jesus. Jeez, calm down.
Jeez, you've a reputation to live up to now.
Scrounge Jesus over here.
And these venues that you're after booking, just out of curiosity, size-wise, what are you talking numbers, ballpark?
We've got a real mix. Like, I think it's quite nice to play really small, punk halls. Because it gets really intense. But we are actually playing with Jean-Sebastian in Post Leon. We're playing a hard rock cafe, which is kind of like crazy. It's like the opposite of a punk place.
Yeah.
But we're super excited. There's like another band from there as well that's going to play.
Great.
So yeah, I mean, I don't know what the capacity of Hard Rock Cafe in Lyon is, but I think it's pretty big. Like, I'm guessing 300 plus, something like that.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, I think from what we spoke last time, I think that's around. But you could be talking anything from 50 to 350, really, could you? Between shows,
something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Fair play. That's Jesus. It's a credit to you, like what you do. People don't see the background work, like what's involved in setting up a show, Ticket sales, are they going well? Are you selling them online, or is it sort of at the door type of thing?
It's a bit of a mix.
Bit of a mix.
Yeah. I mean, you know more than me. Yeah.
I don't really know. I think there's a bit of an issue at the moment because we're putting on a gig next week in Brighton. With Respire from Canada, a really great band.
Nice.
Underdark from England as well. That sounds like I'm making a promotion of my gig.
Do it, man.
No, name drop. But keep it going, yeah.
My point was, like, I don't know what's going on at the moment, but there's like this tendency for people to buy tickets really late. And I just think because now everything is just so uncertain that people don't really make plans that are like months ahead. Like, because I think it's a really awesome lineup. Not just because we're playing, but just it's literally all the other bands. There's like Deadbird, which is a new band from the drummer of TTNG.
That's right.
Opening. Yeah. I don't know. There's loads of cool stuff, and we sold like 25 tickets, and it's in a week, and I'm just like, it's not even for us. But I'm a bit panicking. But apparently, and I was talking to Jean-Sébastien as well, and it was that that's happening for me as well. And I just think so. I try to not look too much at the numbers because
you're right too, I suppose. While we're talking about touring still, have you a favorite venue that you've played in, lads? Pierre, have you a venue that you can always look back fondly and look forward to going back to?
Not a venue. We were supposed to play Artangent yesterday. So I love this festival so much. We already did it twice, but with all the Brexit happening, we couldn't afford it.
Yeah.
So we just have to cancel it, which was heartbroken. But no, I'm not. We always talk with the lads when we have a drink or two, like with good whole memories, like, oh, what's your favorite shows and kind of stuff like that. But I don't kind of have a specific venue. Like I'm looking forward to play like Italy because I've never been to Italy.
Yeah.
And we never planned Italy with Fall of Messiah. So I'm just looking forward to go back on the road and see where we're going.
Yeah, and even going back to Artangent, as you mentioned, fantastic venue, fantastic lineup. I mean, it's off the wall.
Yes.
It's unfortunate that you have to. It gets down to brass tacks money to get there and get to these shows. Like, what do you reckon, Tommy? Yourselves, where have you played that you look fondly on?
I mean, one that's just really close to my heart is probably in Brighton at Cowley Club. It's just a little sort of, it's quite a punk venue, but it's before I played in Chalk Hands, I'd never played in a heavy band before.
Okay.
And it was one of the first gigs. Or was it the first gig?
It
was the first place we played. And we played there a few times since. I just love that venue. I've seen some of the most intense gigs in there. I feel kind of at home there. And for me, I think obviously we've done a bit of Europe and stuff, and everything was amazing. But I've just got something like it's close to my heart. So
What about yourself, Antoine? Actually, would you be in agreement of the venue, or have you something else in mind?
I agree. I love that place as well. I think the one that popped in my head though was that when we played in Leipzig in someone's bedroom.
Oh, that was amazing.
That was pretty nuts.
Yeah, I love that too.
There was like maybe 30 people there, but it just felt like, I don't know. It was just so much fun.
They had this like mezzanine bed, so it was just like a really tiny room, but like 2 floors just because of this wooden structure.
Yeah. People were just sat there with their feet dangling, just looking at us. It's so good.
Yeah, there's some photos on our Facebook of it, but it's we've got fond memories of that.
Yeah. And was that actually something planned, like, or was it one of those things that just happened?
Yeah, we were friends with this group from Leipzig called Pan. They were like a sort of like screamo band, and they were really good. But they're sort of stopped now. But anyway, we still had contact with them, and they were like, "Yeah, you can play in our flat." And I think Leipzig's really renowned for like all the underground stuff that goes on. It's pretty free there, because I played there again with my other band in the attic. The cops came in halfway through Joliet's set. It's been crazy over there. I love it.
And now that band are doing like cooking videos on Instagram. They're amazing, man.
That's where the money is, Les. That's where the money is, cooking. You're in the wrong business altogether. What about going to shows as a fan of the music and not playing? Do you do it a lot, let's see? Pierre, do you go to many shows yourself?
I used to. A little bit less nowadays. In fact, I'm ashamed. I was supposed to be in Lille yesterday to see Frontierer from Scotland.
Okay.
But I missed it because I had so much work to do at home, so I couldn't make it. So nowadays, less than before. But we used to put shows on with Fall of Messiah just to have bands, especially from like UK or Scotland and stuff like that, which were touring mainland. It was like, just come pass by Lille. We're gonna have a gig, stay at home, have a barbecue, and then go back on the road. So yeah, the last kind of hardcore stuff I've seen, it's been a long time ago. I went to I went to big venues. Not a long time ago, but I really miss like small shows and stuff like that. You know, kind of prank shows. Yeah. So,
what about yourselves, Tommy, Antoine? Like, do you enjoy going to gigs as a spectator?
Yeah. I mean, I think it's slowed down a little bit for us as well. We're just quite busy these days, but we do make an effort, especially if there's like a band coming through Brighton that we really want to see. We went down to see a band, like two local bands, Luo and Mulholland, down in it's so good.
So good.
Two drummers that you just can't take your eyes off of, you know. It's kind of sparse these days. But we do tend to go to still quite a few, just not as many.
I think it's quite sparse now, but we still go to quite a fair few because I feel like in Brighton there's just so much going on all the time. Like you could literally go a show a day or even more. Really, you know, like there's like at least a show a week that I'm potentially interested in. Yeah,
it's like every 1-2 weeks. Like every 2 weeks, I think is like probably.
There's a healthy scene so in Brighton, lads. Is there for live music covering all genres? Every style of music is covered.
It's absolutely it's a really great city for it.
What about Lille? Pierre, is there a good scene where you are?
Yeah. It kind of. You know, it's kind of weird because I think, and everyone can relate to, there is, before COVID and after COVID stuff. But yeah, Lille is really, really good. You can especially find every kind of music, and like the punk and hardcore scene used to be really, really nice. But I've moved from Lille like a year ago. I'm now like... I'm living like 40 minutes by car, far from Lille, but in the middle of a very rural area and very small villages where we come from. So it's kind of, when you, during the week, you have to, hello, you. You just have to, take your car and stuff like that. But the scene is really good. And since like, the last 6-7 years, I really saw kind of a big differences. Like we used to play Lille a lot with Full of Messiah, and like everyone everywhere, you play during the week, play on Saturday. I'm so sorry. So this is this is Zoya.
Well, it's like this, Pierre. Just two of them, so otherwise it'll be two of you.
So, that's why you don't go to shows anymore.
Absolutely. Oh my god, he's so cute.
And it used to be really quiet. But I don't know why. The last 5-6 years were really mental. Like when I'm thinking back, when I look back about it, like. We used to have shows during a weekday, like in small venues they used to have more like 150 people for Monday night. Only for local bands, which is I think really good. So Lille is
good. It's
a good place, and most of that you're in the middle of everywhere. Like we live at the border of Belgium. The coast is like 40 minutes by car. You're in England in like 2 hours and a half. You're also in Belgium in 1 hour and a half. You're in Paris in 2 hours. So
geographically, you're in a really good place.
Exactly.
Unlike the misfortunate Irish here on our little island, away from everything.
I've heard it's quite expensive to play in Ireland as well, because I've considered it. I was like, but I've heard like the ferry is really expensive when you go there. I'd love to, but
everything's expensive here, lads, and even the Irish bands themselves that tour up and down the country will tell you it's expensive.
Wow. Okay.
We have had a Bury Let's See. I think are currently touring. They're in Ireland at the moment. It's not many bands will come across, but I think they've done it before, so they came back. Obviously, the Irish charm brought them back again. It's somewhere somewhere you have to look into at some stage anyway. So look, I suppose before we go any further, I'll give everyone a taste of your music, okay? Those that haven't heard you or those that want to hear more of you. The tracks I'm going to play is Fallen Messiah's The Loneliest Whale in the World, which is the closing track.
Yes.
Amazing. And Chalk Hands, I could pick any song from that album. It's start to finish perfect, like, so a means to an end is what I go with. So lads, sit back, enjoy, and I'll see you in a few minutes. So there you go, guys. That's two incredible tracks. As I said, Fallen Messiah is The Loneliest Whale in the World, and Chalk Hands A Means to an End. Two incredible albums too, which is what we're going to actually have maybe a chat about next. Chalk Hands, lads, Tommy and Antoine, Don't Think About Death. I love the title anyway, to begin with, you know. And from the first track right through, I never stopped listening to it. You know, you take a break from an album sometimes when you go, you know, you have so much to listen to on Bandcamp. So I got onto the album, listened to it, and didn't stop till the end. I think I pestered you for a vinyl copy. I was onto one of you, I don't know who it was, but I eventually got it anyway. But tell me who did the writing?
Yes, I noticed it. I was going to say, yeah, appreciate it.
Who did the writing and who's responsible for creating it? Are you all as a collective?
Well, the songs.
Yeah.
Yes, collective. But I was going to say, Tommy drew the cover.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
So to start with,
take a bow, Tommy. Take a bow.
Good. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I did draw the cover. Yeah, I drew
and then take the credit when it's there, Tommy. Don't be shy. Don't be shy.
And then in terms of music, we tend to like write demos together. So we do like a bit of pre-production basically, and we get together and like it would either be a song that we would. How to explain this? Basically, I either tend to like write a complete song and then teach him his parts, or like sometimes it's the opposite. But we always sort of have like nights where we meet and we sort of like, you know, like either teach bits together or like question some parts and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it's quite collaborative because it's still there's a bit of like pre-production involved, but then once the song is like almost finished, I would say like to 80% or something, we present it to the other ones and everyone sort of like, you know, has a little take on like certain parts and what about this, what about that sort of thing. So it's, to start with, it's not really collaborative. It's more like we like sort of like inside doing our own thing for ages, not talking to anyone. And then when we're like, okay, pretty happy with this. What do you think?
Together. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And was there a concept behind it? Is there an idea behind Don't Think About Death, the title? Was it something that you wanted to use?
Yeah. I mean, so I don't know why, but it sort of popped in my head like a few years back, this idea, because I just like the idea, you know, when you go through life, you sort of like try to ignore that one day you're going to die sort of thing. And you're always in that sort of like, it's kind of like opposite, because at times it's really present. At times you're just very in the moment and you can enjoy your life like a normal human being without being terrified at this idea. And I like that don't think about death. It's almost like a bit comically, it's a bit comical because it's like don't think about something, obviously you're going to think about it. And I like this sort of like duality, and I thought it was like a nice parallel between how we live our lives kind of thing, trying to live in the moment, trying to make the most of what we've got because one day you're not going to be there, so you have to make the most of it. It's something like that. It's a bit like all confusing, but it's kind of like how life can be confusing and intense, and like how you sort of try to navigate your life with all these things in hand. And I think Tony did a great job of that cover, that tidal wave.
It does depict it. It does give it adds to it. It adds to the record, that cover.
Yeah, we also thought a lot about like the sort of different thoughts around death as well, and different people's approaches, and because some people are terrified of it and think about it too often. Some people never think about it at all. You know? And it's just we sort of wanted to come at it from different angles and
lyrically as well. It's kind of because Tommy's behind most of the lyrics. I've only watched I've only written the song in French, but all the lyrics are written by Tommy, and there's all sort of like they're all different aspects of life, and they can all be related to the fact that one day you're going to die. You know. So there's that as well.
Jeez, Tommy, take a second bow, man. That's very good.
See, I just write the emails.
That's all you're doing.
Don't be silly.
Pierre, what about yourselves? Fall Messiah's last album, Semicarn.
Yep.
Again, probably, I think personally myself, it was your best album to date.
Oh, cheers!
Another amazing release. I'm obviously going to ask you the obvious question. That's 2 years ago. So have you something in the pipeline? Are you working on something new?
Yes, we are. We just have started. I think it was like as you can see, we are kind of slow because right before Cynican, it was Empty Colors, like 4 years before this one. So it's been already 6 years. But I have to say that we had kind of a hard time during the COVID stuff because everyone was like living differently, and we haven't rehearsed for a long time. In the meantime, I think you might remember the story, but we used to be on Oliver Records, and the label shut down because of all the stories. So it was kind of a hard something hard to
sucker punch, like, wasn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Because we were kind of really hard for this one. I think we had some difficulties to find ourselves, like what what are we wanting to want to play, kind of style of music, and we start finding ourselves when we wrote down Empty Colors, and to me, Senican was just like the natural following of this. It took us around 3 years and a half to wrote it.
Okay.
But yeah, we work as Ashokan. We work as a collective. So we've got we have 3 guitar player. One of our guitarists and the bass player of the band are brothers, and they are composing, I think, all the songs on the album. It's kind of weird because it's been so nearly 20 years that we play together. Our third guitarist, Ben, arrived in the band 8 years ago.
Okay.
So we're just new to the band. And so I saw it evolve, and it's kind of everybody got his own space, his own reflection, but like mixing up together, and it's so good.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Martin and Sylvain are doing all of the musical work. Matthew and Ben, the 2 other guitars player, are just like coming with sparkles and just like, oh, let's try this and this and this, and it's just where the magic happens. And
the magic dust, Pierre, the magic dust.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I'm just, so I'm just playing drums on it. Sorry. No, I love to, I've got my kind of special part that I keep to myself.
Yeah.
It's like you're working on all the concepts, the artwork and all the lyrics. Because I love that so much. So it's kind of
Actually, where did that artwork come from? Sorry, Pierre. The artwork for Senican.
So we all kind of, especially Sylvain, the bass player, and I, are really into all the tattoo stuff. You know?
Yeah.
And we follow a lot of tattoo artists and stuff like that. And since Empty Color, we are working with a friend called Vincent Michelot, which is a tattoo artist in Lille. And so the concept behind the artwork of the album and behind the name of the album, so Senican in the reverse French word, it's called enraciné in French, which means rooted, Antoine?
Okay. Yeah, rooted.
Okay. Yeah. So it's kind of just speak about, I don't know how to explain it. It's kind of weird. Like we come from a very small village in the French Flanders. All of us live there, born and raised. And I'm kind of really influenced by that. And I was like, I'm just like the sentence that can resume the artwork was like, my town is in my head.
Okay.
Just like that. Okay. And it was like everything that built us as a social person, personally, maybe professionally, and emotionally, I think is just because I think like that because I was born there and I live there, exactly like Antoine is from Belgium and now live in UK. So we all got our own experiences, and mine is just the one that I know. So we wanted to have something which is talking a lot about nature and maybe loneliness a bit.
Okay.
So that's why, because I tried to leave the country when I was younger, and just told myself, hey, let's go try to live somewhere else just to discover new cultures and stuff like that. But I can't do it. I'm not able to do it because I love this place. I love to travel, but
you like to come home.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So that was kind of the story behind, and but it's kind of weird because we don't discuss that much in Fall of Messiah. It's like the guys do the music, and I I was thinking about one thing, and it was like, yeah, okay, cool. And we go. So yeah. So, but everybody got his own space, and we all mixing that together.
Great stuff. Are you happy, both of you, with your releases? I know it's a short time since Don't Think About Devil's release. Would you change anything when you listen back to it? Are you happy with what you've? Is there any little thing that you say, fuck, why didn't I change that up?
I don't know. I think as a first album stamp on the scene, I think we're overall pretty happy with it, and the response to it has been really beautiful, and
like it's been getting sparkling reviews, like, hasn't it? Everybody, every magazine and every website has been giving it.
You haven't seen the bad ones.
It's been some bad
ones.
No,
of course not. Who's going to post those?
I'm not even joking. We're just not posting them. If I'm being perfectly honest. But it's true, though. It's just like, yeah. But, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I kind of feel the same. Like,
there couldn't have been bad ones, surely, for that album. Was there? Was there someone gave you bad reviews?
It was never bad. But there was some funny ones. Like,
overly constructive, like, is it? Yeah.
There was some stuff like where they were just like, there were a few ones saying that we were doing stuff that was really similar to other screamo bands and stuff.
Okay.
But everyone has their own opinion and whatever.
And that's what I find unique about both your bands, actually, because you're both sort of multi-genre. There's no, you're not directing yourselves down one specific route. Like you mentioned, Pierre, a while ago, you didn't know what you were or where you were going to be sound-wise. So I think even on your Bandcamp page, I think your little bit biography says multi-genre. So no one can say you're one trick pony. Like, you have incredible mixing songs on both those albums. I think that's just personally.
I think it always depends on how much you are invested into the songs you listen to, because because we've had discussions about this. People saying like, oh, you can hear the influence too much, or that they sound too much like this band. But when it's your own songs, obviously I read that and we disagree, because we're like, no, because there's a bit of this and a bit of that, but the mix of it together is different. But equally, I can understand how, like, my mom would never listen to metal, thinks all the metal bands are the same, because she's not invested in the genre, and she's like, all she hears is like, I think it's true as well for artists, not just genres. I think listen, if you're passionate about an artist and you listen to them over and over and over and over again, they become this like really unique thing to you. And as it is for us, because we know our own materials, our own songs so well. So for us, it's very clear. But I think, and I think any artist, or most artists anyway, if you give them enough time, you find that they actually have like significant differences. But then I think when you're reviewing, sometimes you just have to like do them quite quickly, and maybe you don't like, give it the time it needs. But I'm not saying we perfect and that it's not true. At the end of the day, it's an opinion, but that's my understanding of it sometimes. And because I've thought that myself sometimes. I'm like, that just sounds like this. When you write things off really quickly and you're like, nah, they sound like this. And then actually, if you take the time to listen, you're like, actually, no, like the way they sing, what they sing about, the melodies they use, the guitars, drum fills or whatever, it's actually very particular to you.
I mean, you can't help, I suppose, no matter what you write, you can't help but find something that will sound like somebody else. I mean, it's just going to happen.
Yeah.
I mean, the root of this.
Sorry, Tommy, go ahead.
No, the root of this music as well is it comes from emotion, and comes from like, deep down within, a few boys in Brighton or in Lille, and it's like, you come together and you write what comes out at the time. And I don't know, I feel like it's a really good what is it, like a almost like a journal of like of emotions, and you know, a really curated one that's like, you know, really well thought out, but you know, it's, it comes from like a really honest sort of place, I think. And that's what I love about it anyway.
Exactly. It is honest music. That's what it is. That's a good word to use actually to describe it. Pierre, the new album or EP, whichever it's going to be, is it going to be much different to what we last heard? Can I ask these questions now, or will you be
no, but like the answer is I don't know at the moment. Like we're working on we try to do which was supposed to be the next, you know, the next pass right after Senecan, but we're like, oh, maybe let's just try something different. Like, I don't know at the moment. And exactly as Antoine said, and as you said too, we're in the middle of Jaws. Like, we are too hardcore for post-rock band, and we sound too post-rock for hardcore band. People who like instrumental music is gonna hate all the time when we are screaming, and all the people who like screamo music is like, just get a singer. So it's just, you know, we're in the middle of everything, and I think the more we evolve and the more we're growing up, I really want to be you know, like more open, like having songs that are maybe darker and deeper, you know, and slower, or something, you know, more, maybe more melodic and more, I don't know.
But that's the beauty of it up here, that you can experiment. You know what I mean? You're not restricting yourselves.
We don't want to. I think we don't want to get a direction right now, because when you write songs, like Empty Colors, I'm speaking for myself, but I think Empty Colors back in 2016 was the beginning of what we wanted to be with Fall of Messiah. You know, but it was. Yeah, we already had 3 records out, and Senecan was the point where we needed to be. So that's my favorite release too. And we'll see for the future.
Exactly. You're not giving too much away, are you?
I don't want to.
talk about going around the question.
Kind of. I'm sorry. No, but we just have started at the moment.
Oh yeah, it's early days, is it? Yeah.
Yeah. So it's kind of just, you know, we just have different riffs and stuff like that, and we're just trying some stuff, and maybe we're gonna put everything to the trash, or we're gonna keep the whole thing. We really don't know at the moment. Yeah.
One thing I suppose that will be sort of in everything that you both do is the music is always dark, isn't it? Yeah. It's always got a dark theme to it.
Yeah.
You know, it's always in that undercurrent there. Yeah. Am I right? Or Tommy, like, I know lyrically you.
Well, I think.
Do you agree?
I think there's a lot of what we try to think about, and obviously, like the name "Don't Think About Death" can instantly make you think about death. So it's like, you know, that can instantly make you feel like dark things.
Yeah.
But I think the whole idea behind the album is actually, you know, being in a place where you're looking out of that, and you're actually trying to find some light within a situation.
Yeah.
Like whether that's depression or whatever, you're trying to find, you're trying to find your way out, or what we try to do is put a positive spin or give some sort of positivity to a situation that can be really quite heavy.
A bit of hope, I suppose. There's a bit of hope at the end of it all.
We didn't want it to be like, like just doom and gloom, like, I mean, it might sound that way, but
it's like the because someone, I can't remember where, but I just think there was an interview where someone was like, oh, that is really dark and stuff like that, and I just like, well, it is talking about something dark and stuff like that for sure, but also like I'll talk about the last 2 sentences of the album, of the song "Don't Think About Death." There's unmet parts, an abandoned world.
But I guess this is as far as I go.
Yeah, so it's kind of like an acceptance. in that very context of the song is acceptance of death, being like, I guess this is it, you know. And then, but it means something different for every person. But for me, what it means is like being in a place where at the end of your life you're happy with what you've experienced and you've made the most of it. That's what it means for me. And for me, that's quite a positive thing, really. I mean, for sure, like, I think, you know, there's always anxiety about me reaching that goal. Like, oh, you can always do more, and like, you know, pressure yourself into like, you know, oh, am I doing enough? Am I making is my life worth anything? Like, you know, for sure. But I think it's trying to be at peace with the idea of like, you know, when you leave, you know, you're going to be in a good place.
Yeah.
Well, obviously you won't.
Accepting the inevitable, really, isn't it? I mean,
and then looking back, it's all like a thing for the future, but like, do your best to like, when you look back at that point, you're actually happy with what you've lived.
Exactly.
Something like that.
Yeah. Spot on. Yeah. And acceptance is a big part of it. Like that's, you know, that word, I think, you know, trying to accept the things you've done within your life, and, you know, what, you know, if you could look back at your life when you passed away, how would it look to you? What would it feel like to you? You know?
It's this swinging his wine around.
Life is good. Life is good. Well, look, I suppose you might as well keep the everyone in good form and good spirits here. So I'm going to go into those 3 questions as that I put to you there a few weeks back when I initially got onto the 3 session questions, I called them. Okay, so the first one there would be, if you could walk into a recording studio and do a cover version of any song, any genre, any year, have you something in mind?
Oh, who wants that?
Pierre is ready. I can tell Pierre is ready.
Yeah. It was a very hard exercise for me because I was like, wow. Okay, so I think I could have write down something like 1,000 songs.
Yeah.
And I just pick up. I think Antoine is gonna like it. It's the Spiral Manipulation by the band Envy from Japan.
Oh yeah.
So the screamo band, and that's the track number 7 on the album. All the footprint you ever left, and the expert-ing. I don't remember the whole title, but yeah.
Nice choice. Good choice. Really good choice. Antoine, what about yourself?
It was quite difficult for me as well because you want to, you know, you feel like you're going to be judged by that one question. So I tried to not think about it too hard. But I thought about Le Mans by Hop Along, which has got nothing to do with our music, but I respect Hop Along so much, and Frances Quinlan in particular, the singer, and I would never be able to sing like her.
And what music is Hop Along for someone who doesn't know, including myself? You just have to experience this. Listen to Le Mans by Hop Along.
Okay. It's sort of like indie, but that's the problem when you say indie. There's a lot of like connotation with it that I don't like, but it's nothing like that. Le Mans by Hop Along. She's got such a insane voice and a very particular. I just love that song so much, and it's always the thing. I'm like, wow, I wish I'd written that.
Yeah.
So
good choice, Tommy. What about yourself?
So I've also gone for a bit of a, you know, yeah, I mean, I didn't really know what to go with, but, you know, before Chalk Hands, and the reason why I was never really in heavy bands is I used to do sort of more acoustic music, and it's just a song that means a lot to me, and I probably you know, kill it, but it's Kiss by Scout Niblet and Bonnie Prince Billy. And just a song that I loved so much for many years. It's been like a big part of my life, and, you know, got me through a lot of times that, you know, I think I'd absolutely kill it. I haven't got the Bonnie Prince Billy warbles, you know, that you need. But you know,
but you know something,
I liked it.
It would be a very interesting version, Tommy. It would be a very interesting version, like you said. To say some screamo and thrown in there should be good. Should be really good. Lads, if you could experience playing live on stage or any band, past or present, Pierre, will we go with you again first?
That will be Pianos Become the Thief, but preferably during their the Like Long After era. Like this album, like changed the way I was listening to music, and yeah, I would love to play with them live. Yeah,
nice one. Yeah, great band. Tommy.
So I went with so it's a kind of a really personal choice, not really a band choice.
No, that's fine.
There's an old live video of Harvey Milk. Is it All the Live Long Day, where it's basically they're using a sledgehammer as like a percussion. I was just thinking, that's but it's like, honestly, there was such a heavy band, and I loved this live video, and I would just love to be the fucking sledgehammer dude. I mean, it was the lead vocalist that was doing it at the time, but it was just this visceral video of like this like live band that I've never been able to see before.
Less chance to make a mistake, I suppose, with the sledgehammer.
Well, that's it. I mean, but also just to listen to Harvey Milk, you know, like it's just a band that I love so much, and and it's just like that heaviness. I can just imagine it would just be like a really visceral experience.
Exactly, yeah. The songs are gonna.
That's it. That's the song, by the way.
You're gonna have to put the video in now. Like as he said,
there's going to have to be a sledgehammer on the move here. Yeah. We'll do that for you, Tommy. We'll do that.
Yeah. Well,
and Tom, what about yourself?
Well, funny enough, the one I thought of would be Envy. The one Pierre just mentioned.
Nice.
Or Toe, two Japanese bands.
Nice. Yeah.
But I just thought, in very different ways, they're like just incredible. I don't know. Yeah, Envy's just so powerful and raw, and Toe are just so like musically proficient, you know, they're just so good. I would just love to. I don't know if I could keep up with any of them, but I would just love to experience.
Just to be on stage, I mean, that's all that matters, isn't it? Just to be there.
Yeah, just dancing.
Fucking any piece of equipment, sledgehammer, anything you want. Just walk on with a power tool will do you.
I feel like this should be part of our tour now. Should we bring a sledgehammer to the Fall of Messiah?
I already thought of it, man. I've got it in my bag ready.
That's the encore, I'd say, yeah.
Okay.
Before I leave you go, lads, do you want to drop a few names? Give me an album that I should be listening to and look out for this year. Everybody should be listening out to. Anyone can show that.
Yeah, you start.
I don't know, like a recent stuff, or you don't care?
Anything at all? Just drop us a good album.
Okay. Able Bodies by by From Indian Lakes. Sorry.
Repeat that for me again.
So the name of the album is Able Bodies.
Okay.
And the band is called From Indian Lakes.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I'll check it out. I will definitely check that out. What am I going to experience here when I listen to this?
Yeah.
Walking in the middle of the sequoia forest in the United States.
Oh.
It's kind of indie folk stuff, but very, I don't know why, very melancholic and very raw at the same time. And I love this album so much. I saw them once in Lille, and it was so good live. I think the album might be out like 8 or 9 years ago. They kind of changed their style nowadays, but so good. From exactly like Don't Think About It by Shulk, and like you can't skip one song.
No.
Just go through.
Yeah. Sign up a good album. Thanks, Pierre. Tommy or Antoine, have you something there to throw out there?
I'm going to go first because I see Tommy's got a little list, and I just
I know I've only got one song.
But I know, but I've got the same.
You've been listening to it.
Yeah,
no, it's cool.
So I'm going to let you talk about that one. So I just looked up someone else who I also really discovered recently. They're a band from London. They're called Death Crash.
Yeah.
They're really good. They're a bit like, I guess they're sort of like slowcore-ish meets post-rock. It's really, really good. I've got this secret like wish that one day we're going to tour with them in Outlander as a 3-bill tour.
Oh, nice. Oh, yeah.
Because I think it would be like a step up in terms of like aggressiveness than Outlander, and then Death Crush a step down from Outlander, and I think it'd be like such a nice
mix.
Death Crush actually the biggest band out of all three, so it'd be like less and less violent, which is kind of the wrong order, I guess. But I think that would be a sick tour. They're really, really good, yeah. And the album's called Return, and I really love the song called Spotify is Loading. I can't remember which one. Listen to the whole album. Return.
Exactly. Start to finish, as we're on start to finish in albums here. Tommy, he grabbed your one, so.
Have you back up? So it's a band called Grievo, and the album's called Omit. Okay. And it's kind of it is slightly similar around to Death Crash and Outlander as well.
Yeah.
Which shows why we're in a band together. It's got some shoegaze elements, got some, shoegaze, but with like sort of these just like thick, heavy guitars, kind of shoegazy vocals.
They're also on Church Fraud Records, aren't they?
Yeah. But that album, I only discovered it maybe, a month ago now, but it's just on repeat. Like so
that name rings a bell to me too, Ty. I think I did come across it on Bandcamp.
Yeah, worth a listen, man.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a bunch of other stuff that I, if I could actually pick it out of my brain that I've been listening to as well, but that one really stands out. So
brilliant, great stuff, lads. Come here. I want to thank you for taking part of the show. As I said,
thanks to you.
This tour, lads. When I saw the two bands come together, I said to the wife, "I'm off. I'm going for this." But I just can't get tired. Like you mentioned, Tommy, holidays, shift work. I've taken so many with family holidays, and I've already got some other gigs planned, so it's just not going to happen, unfortunately. But I want to thank you for coming on the show. At the end of this, I'm going to put up the list of your dates, lads, which starts on the 15th of September.
Yes.
Runs for 9 shows over 10 days, lads. So keep an eye at the end of the show, and you'll see the list of all the places they're playing in between Paris, all through France, basically. And did I see Budapest?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, great tour. Keep an eye out for it.
A bit of Germany as well. A little bit, just one show really, Leipzig. But,
Leipzig as well also, yeah, that's great. Yeah. So lads, I really wish you all the best in that tour. Couldn't happen to nicer guys. Like you are top draw.
It's been lovely sorts.
Yeah, super lovely.
Yeah. Cheers. Thanks for
having us. So Pierre, Antoine, Tommy, thanks a million, guys, for being on the show.
Cheers.
Everybody else, like I said, their albums, Don't Think About Death, Senecarn, and their back catalogues of for them, so yeah, can't go wrong. And also check out their dates, try and catch them on tour if you're in the city, lads. It's a no-brainer for me, it's a no-brainer. Go check it out. Thanks to Richie from the Metal Cell podcast, who always edits and produces the show. Richie, cheers for that. And I'll catch you all in a couple of weeks' time. Take care.
Bye.
General, lads, that's it.